But as you can see,
NB.
I am absolutely recording.
Dough.
So,
Dough's for all.
but
Miniature
anyway,
American.
come on, enough messing around. Rosewater and or Flimsy. Let's go through the portal to the realist real.
Let's do
Finally.
it. Come on.
And I'm here
Dob.
too.
Who are you? You're Bongo Butler.
Of course I'm Bongo Butler. Can't you
Not-
tell from my voice? I'm not Stamp, not Truth
Yes.
Frog. I'm Bongo Butler.
I can tell indeed. I can tell from your face.
Normally I have a Cockney accent, but sometimes I forget and I just do a northern one. I'm a cheeky Bongo Butler, I am.
And I'm Dobby, and I'm going to lie down for a nap. I hate the fall. Good night.
Oh,
I'm going to fall asleep, if you will.
Oh, bloody hell. Assistant Spider's run off, hasn't he? But
Oh, no.
Flimsy, who's that sitting at that desk over there? He looks a lot like you.
He does look a lot like me. Bongo Butler has chased Assistant Spider off somewhere, which is cute. Let's watch him intently, and we do not know who he is, but he does look a lot like me. Okay, biological brother. Title, Reality Unscripted.
Well, as you can see, I am recording.
Hold on a minute. There's some wizards here.
Wizards? No, surely they didn't.
Yeah, I'm afraid they did. I think it's I think a portal has opened, and I think it might be Flimsy and Rose Knight, or whatever your one is called. And Dobby! And the one who looks like Dobby.
Rose?
It's unbelievable.
But we made them up. How can they be here?
What do you mean you made us up? Isn't this the Reaper's Real? Yes, Flimsy. It is the Reaper's Real. But that was just an idea in your story. You shouldn't actually be here. I'm perplexed. So you're saying you created us?
That's right, Flimsy. You and Nightshade are simply characters in our comedy podcast, and it's the Realest Real. It's not the Reaper's Real.
I see. I assumed as much, but it sounded funnier.
Wait, hold on. You're telling us our entire existence is just entertainment?
To an extent. You both live in a world that we've crafted for YouTube. So a popular video sharing platform in this world. I don't know if you have YouTube in your salt circle. Well, it's up to us, really, actually. No, you don't have YouTube in your salt circle. This doesn't make any sense. We have memories and feelings.
Those are parts of the story. We wrote those. What about our lives, our past lives?
Fabricated all for the sake of comedy.
Quote unquote comedy.
Air quotes. This is insane, Nightwater, Nightshade. How can we be characters we think, we feel?
So if this is true, what happens when you're not recording? You don't exist. You're only alive when the podcast is running. And so Flimsy and Nightwater find them in a perplexing conversation with Z and B, where they gradually realise that their existence is not what they thought it to be. The revelation strikes them hard as they grapple with the notion that they are merely characters in a comedy, quote-unquote, comedy podcast created for quote-unquote entertainment purposes on quote-unquote YouTube. This realization challenges their understanding of reality, leading them to question the very fabric of their existence. But hold on.
Are you at least a popular podcast? Let's do the song.
Assistant Spider, come back. Can you do us a song while we deal with this trauma?
Just so we're not real, but the show must go on.
No problem. I'm happy to help, but you'll have to pay me in glittery gummy bears.
Glittery gummy bears? That's quite a currency. But okay, do you have any preference? Do you mind? I'm trying to record a podcast.
Is that a
Sorry.
dog? Is that the dog?
No, I'm talking to Flimsy. I'm Zaz.
Oh,
it's all very meta.
It's all very meta. I've never met a podcast I didn't like. Indeed, the preferred payment in the spider world is Haribo Classic, but even ones from the dollar store, or in your case, pound shop, are fine as long as they have all the flavours, not just a bag of sugary bears.
Now you'll be defecating for weeks. Well, as long as the songs keep coming, I'm happy.
Don't worry, I'll keep spinning those tunes for you.
I'm Flimsy. Speaking of payment, I read in the spider paper that your former boss, Larton Crepsley Spider, he seems to have vanished and he's left Commander Darren Spider's estate ownerless. Strange, isn't it?
Odorless?
He's ownerless and odorless.
Eek.
Strange, isn't it?
Oi, you bloody assistant spider. I am at war with the spider mafia. Darren Spider, Commander Darren Spider, and I'm gonna go for you, AS. I'm a well-dressed butler. I'm bustling about in this lavish room, dusting and arranging furniture, and you small creature scampering across the floor, you can playfully avoid my bongo butler attempts to catch you, you little rascal. I'm gonna rip your bloody legs off.
Oh, he's just out of reach from Bongo Butler. That's good. Why don't you do a song while you're darting under those tables?
Do you
I will.
do you want to do the name? Or do you want to do the bit about him?
I will do the bit.
Matt Groening.
Creator of The Simpsons.
Matt Groening.
Bought on February 15th, 1954.
Matt Groening.
Known for Life in Hell,
Matt Groening.
with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, HWOF.
Matt Groening.
The man behind Disenchantment,
Matt Groening.
who named his characters after his family.
Matt Groening.
Robert Crumb and Monty Python,
Matt Groening.
whose father Homer was a filmmaker.
Matt Groening.
Who worked at Licorice Pizza with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Matt Groening.
Who loved 101 Dalmatians.
Matt Groening.
Don't mention Epstein's Island feat.
Matt Groening.
Married to Agustina Picasso.
Matt Groening.
Father of Nathaniel, Zaz, Luna, India, Sol, Venus, Nirvana, and Satori.
Matt Groening.
Who plays cowbell in a rock band.
Matt Groening.
An agnostic,
Matt Groening.
with a disdain for Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Scene 2. Identity crisis.
I'm adapting to the world. How can we be real if we're just characters in the story?
I don't know. I don't know,
Right.
Flims. I don't know, Flims. Everything just feels so constructed.
Our memories, our choices, are they even ours lost?
It's like we're living in a paradox, man of science, man of faith, existing but not truly alive.
Can we break free from this narrative? Find our own truth?
I want to believe we can, but what if we're bound by their script forever?
I need to understand why we feel, why we think.
Maybe our purpose is in questioning, in seeking meaning within our constraints.
We'll find a way to define ourselves, to be more than their entertainment.
Even if we're not real in the way we thought, we can still shape our destiny. Let's just sit in contemplative silence while we weigh the existential crisis.
Are we reading this right now?
It's hard to say, but as Flimsy and Nightingale come to terms with the fact they are not real in the conventional sense, they experience an identity crisis. And that's the truth. That's your BFH. They struggle to reconcile their perceived autonomy and experiences with the ideal that they are mere constructs for the entertainment of others. The line between fiction and reality blurs as they confront the existential implications of their existence. Bleak. Well, in the desolate realm of Netherworld, a sinister assembly known as the Reliquarians has gathered. They assume the identity of Lawrence M. Nightingale and Flimsy Rosewater. Once welcome in the Evenway Republic, they now find themselves on a ship, metaphorically, existentially, teetering on the brink of disaster.
I am Lawrence M. Nightingale, the central figure. They're just over there talking about us. I'm impervious to seafood.
But you're also saying the words as well.
Exactly. Be quiet over there, you me. I'm impervious to seafood. I am bloodless. I dislike kale. I claim a connection with Yetis. I manage the local mail. I promote Red Bull. I collaborate with Blandflakes on unconventional culinary ventures. Baran for lakes. I wield only a fraction of my father's powers and hold annual passes to both Gracelands and Eurodolwood.
We better stop talking, actually. He told us that we need to be quiet.
He is us.
He can't be us. He made us, but he's not us.
Well, I am Zaz now. I'm just doing the voice. It's all very meta.
I am very Flimswater, a lover of ribbons and seeker of everlasting jellyfish, reveller in linguistics and immersed in vibrant colours. I delight the mouse hamlet after eons of XNE demons. I have a fondness for store-bought margarita pizza, and like Lawrence, I used to, if this narrative has been updated, possess a fraction of my father's abilities and use that and a unique artifact, a relic within a relic.
And then there's me, Frozen, the third sibling who enjoys resembling, no, I enjoy it thoroughly, resembling Dobby from Harry Potter. I suppose I've also inherited Dad's powers, or possibly a fraction of them, or possibly used to. The power of resentment, Marquis Smith, my words.
Once
Live at
employed
the
as
Groening trials.
Once employed as chroniclers in Lee's town hall, we recorded the enigmatic Simpsons archives and documented the obscure corners of Springfield.
Now freed from constraints by the sacred manuscript, we pay tribute to those who have passed. Rest in peace, Darren Spider and Ham, and Jessica Owls, and journey on our enchanted airship to uncover the purest truths of the realest real. A truth that has just been revealed. We're the urban spacemen, baby.
We don't exist. Dig. So we're
Digging.
talking about Matthew Groening,
Yes.
the person who invented the Simpsons TV show, of which these characters himself is the character in it. What, just out of interest, where in the world is this being recorded?
This episode.
Yeah.
This episode is being recorded in Abram.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Sure,
How
surely
crazy.
not. How
That
could
is, it's crazy that I didn't know that until now, considering I like
100
fish
years of
quite a bit.
Simpsons?
Yes. He's,
So here we go.
I've never really looked into Matt himself.
I've never even typed his name into Wikipedia to see the second word of his Wikipedia entrance.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to give you some words and you tell me whether or not. No, I'm adjusting. You tell me whether or not the character of Matthew Groening from the Simpsons fits in. Death.
No, presumably.
Glasses.
Yes.
School.
No.
Uncool.
Yes and no. He's cool and uncool within the show, isn't he?
No, he's
Kinda
not.
just
He's
don't
not
do it.
cool. He's goofy.
Yeah, he's like
Mobbers.
nerd cool, which isn't cool. No mobbing.
No, he leads the mob, if anything.
He does.
Bringing
He
back
is the mob.
characters to annoy Matt Groening.
I can imagine yes, probably.
The one where
Probably
he talks about signing autographs and stuff seems like it was just designed to either mock him or gently poke fun at him.
Yeah, it was written in a way of saying, yeah, we'll come to that. But yeah, the Simpsons game one is a weird one. I don't know what choice led to that, but maybe it was his own choice. Maybe it irritated him. Who knows? But he's currently only the second character after Database that we can put into this category.
Yeah, wasn't it Mole Man? Was it Mole Man or Database? One of them was
Database. He hates the voice, so they would just bring him back over and over again.
Love Connections.
Zero, as far as we know.
Captain Bongo. He's got a lot of children, considering.
He loves The Simpsons, I guess.
Are they canon? His children?
Saxophone and Bootaboo. That's still my favourite line from Pants.
What's
He
that?
says, there's a bit where he's on about Roswell. He says, and her children, saxophone and Bootaboo, and then just laughs and says, Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, in a Moldovan Foxborough, the Roswolf prepares a meal for her husband, IMG, and her children, Saxophone and Bootaboo. Jesus Christ.
Captain Bongo.
Yes, and
Yeah.
yes. Yes, and yes. Not only is he in them, he owns them, which is a new
Meta.
a new thing for us.
Celebrity voice.
Yes, he is voiced by Matt Groening from
Is he
Simpsons.
always voiced by Matt Groening?
No, he's voiced by Castellaneta.
Right. On the one where he
Thinking-
wears the eye patch where he's not the real Matt Groening.
Yeah, the one that I associated to be the real Matt Groening until I was like old enough to realise it was not.
Married to Selma?
Not yet. That would be a good episode.
That would be very, very... I've never met a Selma I didn't marry. Multiple jobs.
No.
Just job of
Yeah, just
creator of
just job.
Simpsons.
Technically two, actually. So multiple, depends how you feel about the
Creator
word
of
multiple.
Disenchantment.
Yes, he's the
In more
creator
ways
within
than
The
one.
Simpsons. He appears to be both the creator of Futurama and a courtroom sketch artist multiple times. So
That's a cheap gag, isn't it? But well, good on you for not giving up on it.
they only used it 3 times though, in their defense.
Springfield celebrity?
Yes.
Poverty?
Yes, he is. No, he is impoverished.
Yeah, and even in the show, in the game one, he's just surrounded by stacks of cash, right?
Oh yeah, he's super. Everything other than that one with the Futurama thing, they're all basically about how rich he is.
Moving in with the Simpsons.
No, but again, a great episode. I've married Selma, and now I live in your garage.
Incompetent.
No, I don't think so. Not within show or without show.
Surnameless.
Yes, we only know his middle name, Groening.
Groening.
Yes.
Oi,
Hey,
you. Oi, you spider. On that table, looking
Matthew Plattbridge Wincham.
Matthew Plattbridge Windchime. Right, Jim.
What was that? Sorry, Bongo Butler.
Chinanda Bong. My name is Chinanda Bingo Bongo Butler, and I'm gonna get you, Spider. Stop playing on that tablet and watching the YouTube video. Yeah, but it doesn't exist. No, dude, that's not a voice. It don't exist in my world. I don't bloody care whether it exists. I'm curiously see your antics. Hold on. What I'll be that you're watching yourself on the YouTube. Oh, that's right. I'm watching myself on YouTube right now. I've been drawn out by the sound of my own name. Let me see myself on YouTube. I'm gonna get ya. Butler's gonna get ya. Well, that's an exciting subplot, isn't it? Where the Bongo Butler is attacking. If you remember, I don't have been paying a lot of attention, but Bongo Butler, I don't know whether this has been revealed yet, but he hates Commander Darren Spider, who's now head of the mafia. Don Spider as he's now no Don Darren Spider as he's now known.
I like the backtracking from gaslighting. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember this plot line. I don't think we've told you this plot line.
Matt Groening biography. Discover the astonishing answer to the question, is childhood hell, from his syndicated comic strips by genius TM Matt Groening. Contents includes 16 types of mum.
Exactly. Your pal, the TV set. I didn't really get into Life in Hell. That was he created, that's his first thing, isn't it? And it was,
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, the newspaper strip. I sort of remember that. All I really remember about his Simpsons thing was that he drew them on a piece of paper like 5 minutes before the pitch.
But it makes no sense, right? This is always been my point, right? If you look at the Life in Hell characters, especially the rabbit, is it called Binky?
It's called Bongo.
Is the rabbit called Bongo?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Binky.
Oh, the big rabbit. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Binky is the bitter, depressed rabbit, and protagonist. He has an illegitimate son named Bongo.
I do remember Bongo. The Bongo comics is named after this.
But the characters just look exactly like season 2 Simpsons, but not like Tracy Ullman Simpsons.
No, especially that. I've never really looked at that female rabbit before, but she's literally wearing a piece of Maggie, Lisa, and Marge's clothing as well.
I like the fact that his son, his illegitimate child, just has one ear that looks like a big knob sticking out of the top of his head.
Yeah, Teletubbies. And then the two, I forgot what they're called. They're called Akbar and Jeff.
Jeff and Akbar, yes. It was never really explained whether they were friends, flatmates, family, or lovers.
Or Bert and Ernest.
But we don't need it to be explained, do we? But Matt Groening's zany brand of comic genius are simply gold dust, says Amazon.com.
Wow, what a review. And then he came forward after the Simpsons. He's only done 2 things after the Simpsons, which is powerful. Futurama, very popular.
What about The Critic? Was he not involved in that?
I don't think so. I know he hated
James L. Brooks.
Yeah, I know he hated that that's the only episode his name isn't on, because he didn't want to do the crossover, and that went away after a while.
Now I'll cross over with anybody. They've never done a South Park crossover though, right?
Not in terms of properly. They've both done it, but without using the other people. Like there's been like a South Park parody on The Simpsons, and South Park have done like 3 full episodes basically. There's the one where there's the Simpsons did it episode, which is quite early, where Butters keep coming up with plans to like cause chaos, and then his sidekick basically just keeps telling him what episode of The Simpsons that has already happened in.
Which is very good, because I imagine that's quite meta, right?
Yeah, and then they did like a Cartoon Wars thing where Bart's with Cartman and there's some other like cartoon kids, and they go to like the studio heads. But yeah, nothing official. They both seem to quite like each other, I think. I think it's more Family Guy that South Park kind of bashes on, but South Park's been always kind of fairly nice to The Simpsons for the most part.
It's another Fox show, isn't it? And I imagine Seth MacFarlane is pretty enamored of The Simpsons in general. I mean, Family Guy is essentially just The Simpsons with a little bit more cheekiness.
True, that is the wrong show, though. I said South Park.
Okay. The Simpsons family was crudely drawn from Groening's basic sketches. So as we know, Homer's got the M and his ear is a G. For his hair, his M, his ear is G. And Marge's beehive was a bride of Frankenstein. And they, of course...
They got rid of some ears as well. That was early. Groening seems to have some more sort of big ideas season 1 of The Simpsons, and then sort of got rid of them because it wouldn't fit into a long-standing show. Like Homer was supposed to be Krusty, like actually supposed to be Krusty, and that would be like come out later on. The joke was like Bart idolized Krusty and hated Homer, so that's why Krusty looks so much like Homer anyway. And Margie's supposed to have big ears, big bunny ears under her hair.
Right.
That was supposed to be like a revelation, like if it, if they only did like 2 seasons or something and not 36. But yeah, I remember the bunny.
Still going The Simpsons.
Yeah, I think it's still on.
When was the last time Groening appeared? He hasn't been in it for a long time, right?
No, I don't even know how much he does. This is the thing, he's never written an episode officially. Like obviously they've got a writer's room and there's ideas like tossed back and forwards, but he's never written a script for an episode. He basically created it and then was like, here you go, everybody.
Here you go. Here's some things. Here's some characters. Groening refused to name Grandpa after his own grandfather, Abraham. But then the writers coincidentally chose the name of Abraham for his grandfather, apparently. And apparently he did pitch. And we've talked a lot about spin-offs and how rich Springfield could have been. Live-action Krusty show and Young Homer, a.k.a. The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I know. I don't buy that Young Homer thing at all. I've never seen that before.
No, it'd be very weak. I'm sure it'd be very, very, very weak indeed.
I think it would be. Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be like Bart, but set in the 60s, and the joke would wear off very quickly.
Yeah, and I don't think they get Glenn Close, the powerhouse, to be a recurring, so they'd probably have to recast.
That'd be all right, though. Wouldn't matter.
It would not.
Do you know what his mother's name was?
Marge.
But would you know what her maiden name was?
Was it Wiggum?
It was Wiggum, yeah.
I know a lot of the streets are named after people, and yeah, basically he's just pulled all of his family names. And I know, Margie's mum in the show is called Jacqueline Bouvier, isn't she? Which is the name of, the first lady.
All right, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if that was on complete.
Apparently, he named his son Homer, who, when he grew up, changed his name to Will.
Yeah, as you would. It depends when he named his son Homer. If he had his son and named him Homer before The Simpsons, that's kind of fine because it's a father tribute. But I think even if it was after having The Simpsons in the world, I just don't think anybody would name the kid Homer after The Simpsons came out, let alone the creator of the show. How old is Will Simpson?
At 70 years old. Doesn't tell you how old his children are.
He must have liked Mark a lot because there's no Mark in the show anyway.
No, Matt Groening apparently has more children than Apu.
Yes, and Manjula.
And Manjula together. In October 2008, Matt Groening was named the 3rd greatest living genius. He came in 4th, but one of the guys died before it was. None of that sounds real or true. He went to Evergreen. Which is always in the news for being a hotbed of left-wing action. And
Evergreen Terrace.
That's true, right? And here's something that I found out through other means, is that the Captain Beefheart album Trout Mass Replica, which is known for being one of the most difficult listens, but is a great record, is Groening's favorite record because apparently he only had like a few tapes, and one of them was Trout Mass Replica, so he just kept listening to it until he liked it.
Nice. I just read a bit further down.
Go for it. Which bit are you referring to? The bit about his father being called Homer Philip Groening?
No, that is not the bit I was.
How about the bit? Is it the bit where his father Homer was born in a Mennonite in a Plowdeach speaking family, and his grandfather Abram Groening was a professor at Tabor College?
Nice, making her nearly vomit.
Forced to give Matt a foot massage, describing his feet as having yellow, crusty toenails, fluffy balls of sock between the toes, making her nearly vomit. And that's only allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, there's a lot to the life of Matt Groening.
Exactly. Sure, I can add references to Derrida, Foucault, Vonnegut, and Drake to enhance the dialogue while keeping the essence of the original lines. Here's the revised version. Interior podcast studio day. Flimsy and Nightshade sit across from Brendan and Nathan with tension palpable in the air.
So if you're the ones pulling the strings, do we have any real choice in what we do?
You have the illusion of choice, Flimsy. We've crafted paths for you, but how you navigate them is up to you, i.e. us. But if we're truly free, Or are we just acting out roles that you've already decided?
It's a bit of both. We set the stage, but your reactions and your emotions are sort of yours to explore within the framework. Think of it as Derrida's deconstruction. The meaning isn't fixed, it's in your interpretation, cheeky bastard. How can we trust anything we feel or decide? How can we trust that anything we feel or decide isn't just part of your grand plan? See, even that sentence I stuttered on and then I had to redo, was that up to me? To Flimsy? Let's murder them and take their places.
Because your authenticity is what makes this compelling, gentlemen. We guide, but you give life to the story, like Mickey Foucault's ideas on power. It's not about control, but the dynamic relationships between us. But what about our desires, our dreams? Are those ours, or are they scripted too?
They're born from your interactions with our world. Your desires shape the narrative as much as our initial designs. Kurt Vonnegut once said, "We are what we pretend to be, but you're also what you create within our constructs." So maybe our challenge isn't to defy your scripts, but to find meaning within it. Like Drake says, I know when that hotline bling, it can mean only one thing. We find our meaning in the signals we're given.
To carve out our own truth. Even that was the best line when I saw a chatbot brought up that. I was like, yes, we're on the right track here. To carve out our own truths, even if they're written by your hand. Right.
What?
That's
Oh,
enough.
yeah, I thought you said Johan.
Johan. Who is this Johan, and how does he write these
this?
scripts? I've been writing them for years and sending them to the boys.
Exactly. I think
Your
that's
character
okay.
created in the moment. Johan, the real writer, the realist of the realest real.
Last touch. Well, the room is now filled with silence. We're all grappling with the blurred lines between creator and creation, agency and constraint. Enough.
Grab them. Put Brendan and Nathan in a bag. Tie them in a bag. Let's see. Are you like not being real?
Oh dear.
The conversation delves into complex interplay between free will and determinism. If there's a creator dictating their every move, do Flimsy and Nightwing and Gale truly possess free will? Or are they simply puppets following a predetermined script written by Johan? The characters grapple with the paradoxical nature of their agency, questioning whether their choices hold any genuine significance in the world where their fate is ultimately controlled by an unseen creator. References to Derrida's deconstruction, Foucault's power dynamics, Vonnegut's reflections on identity, and Drake's lyrical contemplation enrich their existential debate. Please replace this later by Groggly Poncho, but don't really replace it, but also do.
Both.
So what do you actually like about the character of Matt Groening in The Simpsons?
Not a great deal, to be honest. I like the original one that we saw a lot more than what they than the real one. There's just not. I get it. I get the idea. Everybody does it. Creators going into their own shows is not uncommon, such as David Lynch. But the two best, David Lynch and is it Mike Schur, The Office?
Yeah.
They're the two best examples because they created characters for themselves.
No, that's good, right? But
whereas this is he's just playing himself.
I know. And
they're not even doing it in like a meta way. They're just saying, oh, look, it's that guy who created a different show.
It's this version of Matt Groening, the one with the eye patch that shoots people and is kind of like a nutcase, is really great. But then when the real Matt Groening shows up, he's kind of like, yeah, there's an opportunity for a few meta gags, but it ain't all that.
It works better within the context of the Simpsons game. I mind it a lot less there because it makes sense. The entire story of that game is that they are aware that they're in a game, so it sort of plays into the meta-ness of it, but there was no need to really do that Futurama thing. We'll come on to it when we look at the clips, but there's some things that are just sort of indulgent but don't really work, and then there's a few that are good.
There's a really good episode of Animal Man, the comic, which is
Issue. I think they're called Issues.
Written by Grant Morrison, who's very big into the meta, and in it, Animal Man, which is a great run. The whole series is very meta, but this is the most meta part where he meets a version of Grant Morrison who talks about his life and how he can use bits of his life, including he takes his cat to the vet and she's about to die, and he thinks, well, at least if she dies, I'll be able to use it in my Animal Man comic. and then I don't know if she really does die, but he still uses it in the Animal Man comic. But that's great. That's a great example of meta done real well, because they
There
used
are
to do that
ways
all the
to do
time. Well, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee used to pop up in Marvel comics pretty regularly, like both as like parodies and also as like themselves.
Well, they did the whole Stan Lee MCU cameo thing, didn't they? Where they never really established who he was supposed to be. There's a few of them where he could just be Stan Lee, and they
Get
don't
up,
really.
there's nothing wrong with you. It's only a comic. It's not only a comic. It's my life.
Exactly. That is how you would feel. And that is what they go for ultimately. But the other stuff, yeah. There's just not a lot to him as a character within the show, is there?
I do like the bit at the end of the game, spoiler, that we'll come to in a bit, where he does attack the Simpsons and then signs his name on the window and flies away. But we'll get to that soon. I promise we will definitely get to the content real soon.
Indeed.
But before that, come on, Assistant Spider, I'll let you off my murderous spree for a minute while we watch this YouTube video. Oh my goodness. Hold on a minute. If you're in that video, aren't we just characters in someone else's story? It seems that way, doesn't it? But does that make us any less real?
One sec. Did you bang that? Yeah, I'm just talking, just podcasting. What's up?
You can come in. It's going to cut off in 30 seconds.
Oh.
User friendly, as they say in the biz.
Perhaps not. I don't find it friendly. I find it user rude.
Simpson user rude.
Exactly. No. What rank would you put him?
Cold opening. Maggie Rodwell has tried to negotiate with Fox bosses by proclaiming the importance of Maud, citing directly the existence of the IMFDB. How meta? Very meta. What rank would you put Matt Groening in the Simpsons ranking?
It's a tough one. He's going to have to go pretty low, isn't he?
As a character.
Yeah, as an in-show character who he's got to be on the same level of say Kashmir and Raheem, because they're both sort of that. Maybe less so than both of them. Maybe less so than Kashmir. I'm going to put him in F for now.
He's way down, right? Because he doesn't appear very much, and most people, unless you were real big Simpsons fans, if you said, how often has the character of Matt Groening appeared in the show, they'd say, I don't know, never, maybe once. They wouldn't say like he's been in it like 10 times, and the entire Simpsons game was based around him.
Yes, I also the only reason I'm not putting him in G is because his name carries weight.
And begins with G.
It does, some of it. And ends with G.
Some of it.
He's got more like, if you said, who's Matt Groening, they would probably, most people, is that the Simpsons guy? Where if you said, like, who's Barb Belfry, they would say, I don't know. I've never heard that name.
Is she from that one episode of The Simpsons that's sort of not canon?
Exactly, T-shirt canon. She's canon now. I don't know if we've been through this yet, but she appeared in an irregular episode, Barbcast.
I believe you did mention that, but let's get to some content. Do you want to give the good people some context for this 45 minutes in content?
Yes, there isn't really any context for it. It's sort of nods towards the show's creator.
The context-free clips. How bizarre.
Yes, there is no story here whatsoever.
Clip 1, Season 7, Episode 10, the 138th episode spectacular. McClure is on a Simpsons set. We see the walls, we see and it's clear that he's doing one of those behind the scenes kind of clip shows. And he says, The Simpsons began as the brainchild of cartoonist Matt Groening. And then we cut to a picture, the classic Groening, of the bald eye patch kind of saluting, which I think maybe is a reference to John Swartzwelder. I know that Swartzwelder was like all of the things that the picture of Groening suggests to be.
He doesn't look like that though, does he? I know they do a lot of Swartzwelder stuff, and he looks like that.
He looks like who's the guy?
David
Crosby. Yeah,
he does, doesn't he? Yeah, no, I saw it more as like a Full Metal Jacket kind of vet, like stereotypical angry patriot was the gag that he's not at all how you would see the Simpsons creator. That's the joke here. That
The
is a
joke,
joke.
yeah, the joke, but it is a joke, but it's a generic joke that could literally been used basically about any TV show to be like, hey, you imagine a TV show guy looks like this, but he doesn't. He's a psycho and he looks like this. A joke which they double down on several more times in the episode, thankfully.
Yeah, I like this episode a lot though. This is in the good days. This also, I saw this when I was a kid, so I didn't realize it was even a joke. So I just for quite, I don't know how long, not decades or a long time, but I
Millennia.
remember. This was my image of Matt Groening in my head
Groening.
for a long.
So he's in the small list of characters that have had a redesign, like a pretty big redesign. So you have this version and then several other versions that actually kind of look similar, but they're not. There's a bunch of different kind of Matt Groening where they draw him a little bit more like Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, and then eventually settle on the one from the game where he's kind of looks like Matt Groening a bit.
Yeah, they settled on something eventually. But I kind of prefer it. I think before Tapped Out and stuff like that, they could be looser with designs.
Okay.
They seem to like stick to one thing now and keep it so they can, put it into Tapped Out and it be.
Hey, don't change this. Don't change this. The players have tapped out are going to get confused. You think that's
the 11-year-old game?
Do you think so Cthulhu had a redesign and Groening had a redesign. Are there any others you can think of that have had a fairly substantial redesign?
Not off the top of my head in terms of our gang of casters. No, I think the next one would probably be they tend to put cashmere in clothing now. Is the other like the closest I can think to it. But yeah, I kind of prefer this version. This episode as well, the Troy McClure stuff. Troy McClure seems to be connected to Groening in quite a few of these clips and in the bongo, like he just sort of represents the meta-ness at this point of the Simpsons. He comes in and does these like special episodes and stuff. So that's nice. It seems again like Troy has more knowledge of the world that he lives in. I like Johnny Reb. Don't know why, I just like the phrase Johnny Reb.
So he is so Johnny Reb was a real character who was like a personification of the Civil War, kind of the brave, regular, everyday hero. And
like John Doe, like a name to represent like.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think back in the day, it was kind of a generally positive thing, but these days it's related definitely to the Confederate kind of soldiers, so it's got a little bit of a right-wing kind of connotation these days, which is kind of I guess why they put that in there to get a little bit of a jab at the obviously lefty-leaning Groening. So they cite comics such as Damnation, Life in Hell, Johnny Reb, and True Murder Stories. In 1987, Groening teamed up with award-winning producers James L. Brooks. We get a fat monopoly type surrounded by money and loads of awards, and Sam Simon, which is a naked guy in bed with Matt Groening's toenail. Don't mention the island. What I like is the Sam Simon one just looks like a haggard god, and he's got like medicine and a syringe by the side of his bed, and it's yeah.
All I can imagine with this is that maybe he drew it himself.
Well, you take a little, it's like poking fun at your mates, right? It's like, I don't know if Sam Simon back in the day had long hair and stuff, but the pictures here are of him being pretty well groomed.
Yeah, I don't think he looked like that at all. I think they were, but again, that's the image in my head of Sam Simon because of association.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was so young when he died. I thought he was older than that. Yes, R.I.P. Groening though is this is my favorite version of him that we're going to see, and I like where it goes.
Clip 2, same. McClure is reading from a letter from Dr. Linus Irving. I checked that, but it doesn't seem to be a reference. How does Matt Groening? What's that?
There's a thing in that episode. All the letters in that episode are like dumb questions that come from like senators or professors.
That's a Monty Python joke, right? Like a lot of Monty Python stuff had letters, ridiculous letters written, and they were all signed off by Lord Ponsonby Smythe Mrs. and things like that.
Yeah, like the Viz kind of do it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just that.
It's a cheap gag.
Yeah, the best one is Homer. I think Homer gets stupider every year. Then Troy says, "That's not a question, Professor."
How does Matt Groening find time to write and draw a full Simpsons episode every week sent from the Sloan Kettering Memorial Institute, which is very Python-esque? And it says, for that answer, we went straight to the source. And of course, this made me think about the fact that the guys from South Park literally do write and draw a full episode every week when they're doing it, and not by themselves, of course, but still they're on a very tight schedule. Whereas the South Park must have been out at this point. What, season 7? I guess maybe not yet.
No, I think it's just about out now. Yeah, like South Park's like 96, I think.
7.
97.
So yeah, around that time, which is an interesting thing to say that when actually, but at that point they probably wouldn't have known how South Park worked and ins and outs and stuff.
Well,
so
if this is season 7, this would have been like 95, 96 anyway. Okay. So yeah, this will have been before it.
So we cut to a picture of an angry Matt Groening in his eye patch and bald, the same character. He's in his office. He's got Life in Hell and The Simpsons on the wall. And he seems to have a salt shaker and a lime, and he's drinking tequila shots.
The bottle also is empty, which is fun.
Yeah.
He's finished the bottle now.
Angry Groening is drinking tequila at his desk. He screams, "What? Get out of my house!" And I ask, "Is that Groening's voice?" He points at the screen and then shoots his gun at the screen several times.
Yeah, beautiful. I think it's Castellaneta, just because it sounds exactly like the rich Texan guy who comes up later. I think he says, "Get out of my office" as well, but it's very in with like a southern twang. Yeah, this is the best one. I think they should have just stuck with this. Even if they had him voicing himself, they should have just stuck with this design, just because it's sillier. There was no reason to change it to where like they changed it later. Like when he rocks up later on, they say like, oh, they introduce who he is and what he's done. So there wasn't like a reason to change it to look more like him, other than them thinking this was too silly, which is already a bad train of thought for a cartoon. Like, oh no, we should change this and make it more real. Why? It's season 15 and your episode is about comic book guy marrying Edna.
It's very Mordy, but it is very Simpsonsy to then make Matt Groening, because they seem to, when presented with a silly choice that would affect things long term, they almost always went with a sensible choice.
Yeah, which technically we have here today, playing ourselves and being ourselves and not being like in the realest real to break the fourth wall for a minute.
But we're Flimsy and Nightshade right now.
Yes, we are. But they both just kind of look normal over there.
Oh, yeah, they look exactly like we do, right? But we didn't expect it to get this meta.
No, and also we can do what we want, whatever
Don't just kick that bag a few times.
Exactly. Truth for yeah, this is the best one we're going to look at. That's all I really can say about it.
It's all downhill from here. Clip 3, season 15, episode 17. My big fat geek wedding. The Simpsons are at a science fair. Hibbert is dressed as Captain America. Oh my goodness, it's Matt Groening from the creator of The Simpsons. Oh look, and Hibbert laughs. It's the real Matt Groening, I say. Matt is signing for Milhouse Boy and Spider-Man. Carl White comes up dressed as George Jetson and says, "Wow, the creator of Futurama." Milhouse, very meta. Matt Groening, he says his name wrong. "Will you autograph my Bender doll?" "Sure, I'm happy to give anyone my autograph anytime, anywhere in the street." Meta characters brought back to annoy Groening. "We've got one on my private property. But why be happy with just an autograph? What about an original sketch or a snippet of my hair? Don't forget to put my beard." They say it's good luck. Quite funny.
Yeah.
Humorous.
The idea. I don't think his delivery is very good, which is a shame. He's not got the most, which is, he probably could, because the Simpsons game, he sort of has more emotion and stuff. It's still not like...
Maybe he got an acting coach in between. Maybe this clip was enough to send him back to acting school.
Maybe. It just seemed... Also, they're at a comic convention. I thought that, given all the costumes and the fact that the guy's a comic book guy in real life, IRL.
Let's have a listen to my favorite, the Captain Beefheart song, which is probably also his favorite Captain Beefheart song. I also played it on the Weird podcast the other day when we were talking about the Modcast quite a lot. So I'm doing a bit of a meta thing here. So stick with me. It's also got one of the best openings of any tune ever. Do you know this song?
I do not. I don't think.
You might recognize the intro if you've ever heard any Beefheart, but it's brilliant anyway.
"A squid eating dough in a polyethylene bag is fast and bulbous. Got me?"
The album's
I say it's a
unconventional.
great first line.
What's that?
A great first line.
Oh, it's brilliant. Matt Groening tells of listening to Trackmaster Replica at age 15. I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever heard. I said to myself, they're not even trying. It's just sloppy cacophony. Then I listened to it and created The Simpsons and thought I could do something even worse than this. He didn't really say that. I couldn't believe Frank Zappa could do this to me because Frank Zappa produced the album and he was mates with Beefat because the double album cost a lot of money. About the third time I realized they were doing it on purpose and it was meant to sound this way. About the sixth or seventh time it clicked and I thought it was the greatest albums I've ever heard.
Nice.
All the pop troopers start with holding hands. When she drives her Chevy, sissies don't dare to glance. Yellow jackets and red devils buzzing round her hair hive hole.
Very Maudie indeed. Very Watchdogs. Yeah. And interestingly enough, I sampled this for our upcoming CW8, but not that song. One that I later found out had an unfortunate bit where he's doing the voice. Thankfully, I sampled that part.
Excellent. Good.
Anyway,
I won't do this.
I will sample the voice.
Hibbert is dressed as Captain America. I just reread that. I will do this. Yeah, I just don't. I like the concept of this. I like that it's just, this is very meta in that it's just some people who are friends with him trying to give him a hard time.
It's cheeky jokey, isn't it? I do like that Carl is dressed as, Lenny White is dressed as George Jetson because obviously the Simpsons was based on the Flintstones and the Futurama was at least a little bit informed by the Jetsons.
Indeed. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. They seem to just run with this thing of him being the creator of Futurama as well, which they might as well, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of Simpsons references within Futurama. So it doesn't, and I think they do the same thing in Futurama where they refer to him as the creator of The Simpsons. So
is he ever in Futurama?
Yes.
Really?
It's kind of just the same thing. Yeah, he's like a head in a jar. They have celebrities like heads in jars, aren't they?
So does he actually like speak and appear in the?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So he appears in Matt Groening's head with David X. Cohen and Crystal Chesney Thompson. CCT.
Yeah, it's the same thing, just reversed basically. So they just run with this thing that he created Futurama in the appearances that he has.
Right.
But then they don't really reference anybody. Like Milhouse doesn't have a Bender doll. And also later they meet, they do the Futurama crossover and they do all kinds of they've done things that would say that Futurama is not a television show within this world. So it's just it would be less messy to have just kept him as the rifle pulling Republican.
I hope somebody got fired for that.
Exactly. I just don't like his line delivery, quite frankly.
Quite frankly, go back to school. Matt Groening's. Clip 4, Simpsons game 2007. So you took a detour really from clips at this point, mostly into the game, which is a wise decision because this is game, bongo, etc. Because the game, as you mentioned, is based entirely around the meta concept of them having a fight with the creator. Probably because he sold them out for such a crappy game. Bart and Homer are going to meet their creator. I hope our creator is like 100-foot tall Godzilla. They are in an ornate chamber with big boobs and he breathes fire snot. Think again. Zoom in on Groening at a desk surrounded by money. Think again. Your creator, says Matt Groening, is TV's most beloved animated visionary. And I pointed out it was, Bart says Seth MacFarlane, but ironically, the picture looks like it was from a South Park episode.
Yeah, it's fun. I like the animation within this game. It's the same for the Futurama game as well. I kind of enjoy it because it's 3D, but it's still like Simpsons cartoony, like with the line. And normally when they do 3D, they do it like just like a regular 3D thing. But this is sort of like 3D, like 2D animated characters, 2D characters animated in 3D, as opposed to rendering them with I don't know, they've still got like the cartoon lines, they've got the stink lines and everything. They've still got all like the lines as if it was drawn as a comic or TV
Yeah, I
show.
think so. They haven't done like when they did the Halloween episode where Homer turned into like a CGI kind of guy, and it wasn't that great. But this is kind of like they've managed to keep the clunkiness. It's very retro.
Yeah, well, they tended to, the normal 3D thing was normally just what they did. Like for the hit and run game and the road rage and stuff, it was just regular, like video game 3D. And then for
Yeah.
this and the Futurama game that they brought out, they went for this kind of style, and I just kind of, I prefer it. It just looks, it looks kind of clunkier, but in a good way.
So the Seth MacFarlane line sets off Groening. He's not very happy about this, and he says, "Say hello to my little friend," because this whole scene is a bit of that desk thing is a bit of Scarface thing as well, right? So he throws the 2 sheets of paper at them signed with something, and it turns out that it's a picture of Bender and Dr. Squidface off Futurama, and they jump out, and then Bender and Squidface start to run around. Zoidberg, his name's right.
That's the one. He'll be getting a cast soon at some point. He's by far the best character on that show.
Oh yeah. He talks like a watermelon person.
He does.
Was that intentional?
No, I don't think so. I think I just started shaking my face, maybe.
Groening,
yes, please continue.
Groening grabs his pen and is about Fredar Angina Gold 11.
He sure is. Bender and Gold 11. Bender and Zoidberg start chasing them, don't they? This is a better use of him in that the game setup is that the first few levels are just kind of a game, and then Bart finds the manual to the game and sets off the whole thing, and then aliens turn up that are working with Sideshow Bob.
Very meta, except for the aliens.
It's the most effort they put into a game story, because the other games are sort of like Hit and Run is just GTA, Road Rage is just Crazy Taxi. They did a skateboarding game, whereas this is actually like you could watch it as an episode without playing the game. And
I enjoyed the idea. I enjoyed the concept. The cutaways, as they call them, were very
There's
good.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot, and they sort of flip between TV show animation. You'll probably notice as well.
I did notice.
They flip between both, so the cutaways are sort of just Simpsons style, and then the game is like this. This is a bit, and also his delivery here is kind of fine as well. I enjoyed a bit more. Not particularly bothered about the Seth MacFarlane line. I think it's at this point as well, 2007. Family Guy started in like 99.
Right, had it already been cancelled at this point?
Yeah, it's already been cancelled. It got cancelled and it came back on in like 2004.
Oh, right.
So it's been back on for like 3 years, and they've just been going backwards and forwards for like 2 seasons, just occasionally making jabs at each other or doing. And then they sort of flipped it and started making jabs at themselves by using the other show. Like Family Guy will talk about how The Simpsons is better than them and stuff.
Right.
And then this is their version of like kissing ass, rubbing feet of you.
Don't mention the I told you.
We have to go back.
Is it enough? Is it enough? Is it the Seth MacFarlane line that sets him off? Why does Groening suddenly throw Bender at them?
I think he's just supposed to be a bit of a dick. I think the idea is they get there and they expect him to be like, he doesn't give a shit about them, basically. They also have broken into his mansion at this point.
Okay.
To confront him. So I think in a way he's just kind of defending himself, and he doesn't really know. I think their goal is to destroy him. At this point, actually, no. In fact, no. I think their goal is to just find out answers. So it is a bit.
Isn't that all our goals, Flimsy?
Of a dick move, but I'll take it for the video game villain logic. Like, you need to get him to be the only sort of strange thing, and it is a villain boss sort of thing, but you don't actually fight him at all. You just you weaken him by like hitting things whilst fighting the Benders and the Zoidbergs. So there isn't actually a confrontation where you never have like a Homer Groening fight or anything, or a Bart Groening fight.
They do kick him repeatedly while he's on the ground though, but that's you don't get to do that as a character.
No, you don't get to do it yourself, which is the only other thing they would have done that would have been an in-show jab at him, where you could just be like kick the shit out of him within the game. They didn't add that part.
Probably a bit much, to be honest. I think this is the safe way to approach such an issue.
I think Giselle, or whatever she was called, would have loved it.
Homer, clip 5, Simpsons game. Homer is now a giant ball and in some kind of circus space, and Groening is on a balcony. Groening falls to the ground, and there is a cutaway to become real Simpsons animation. Bart and Dad says Lisa. You've just vanquished your own creator. The philosophical implications would make Rufjan Ionescos headspin. Eugene Ionescos headspin, says Lisa, says Isis. HJ, oh, you make a provocative point, says Simpson. And furthermore, kick him. Yes, HJ and Bart Rude kick the living she out of curled up fetal MG. The ladies with no baby look unshocked. Marge steps in. Stop kicking the man who doodled you. It's not nice. Yes, ma'am, they say, as MG gets slowly to his groggly poncho feet. Thank you for saving me, ma'am. I'm enduringly grateful, says MG. Lisa says, Mr. Groening, how could you have betrayed us, the fruits of your creative loins? And you sold us out to all these awful video games where we endlessly die and lose health and jump and jump and jump. Soft strings. I swear I didn't know. I swear that I didn't know. Good Lord. I swear. I swear I didn't know the games would be awful, Lisa. If I'd known, I would have only slapped your face on mugs, t-shirts, candy, lunchboxes, board games, novelty flying discs. He sounds like Kermit, I point out. And fluffy beach towels.
That's very CW. I think that's probably, I got a lot of inspiration for saying things like silly. You like repeating a word twice before.
Yes, I do.
That's a very a double adjective is very CW, and it's very likely that it came from a Simpsons inspo. I just wanted to point that out before I forgot it, because it is not written down.
No.
So would you like to finish this clip, or shall I cut in now?
Let me do the end. They all grumble, and MG laughs nervously. Now, if you'll excuse me, he steps back and pushes a photo of Marge as the Mona Lisa aside to show a big red video game self-destruct red button. They all chant, as MG says, so long. So they all chant the name of that says video game engine self-destruct button, and MG says, so long, suckers, as he presses it and jumps onto a helicopter as it flies past. Gold, I say. They scream as the room shakes, as Groening flies back on his helicopter, signs the window before flying away when gold. Subscribe button comes up. Is that from the YouTube video, I ask? Is that meta?
Meta. Fluffy. Yeah, this is my best. This is the best clip of him being himself. I still think it would have been a lot funnier if they kept the design of the bald eye patch guy. I think it would have, even with his normal voice. I think it also would have worked for this villain more. Like, he's being this is very villainous, cowardly behavior across the entire scene. He gets beaten up. Marge saves him, and he thanks her really earnestly. And then within like a minute, he's pressed a button to destroy her and her baby. And then he flies off to safety with no because he knows even within this world, he knows that he can just draw them again. So it's very much like that comic you just showed me, Animal Man. Their actual lives don't matter. Same as Flimsy and Lawrence over there. Their lives don't matter.
No, we're Flimsy and Lawrence. Brendan and Nathan are in the bag.
Oh yeah, sorry, our lives do matter, but I can hear him in the bag saying that he's saying our lives don't matter and they could just kill us off at the end of this episode and then write us back in, and they wouldn't feel that pain, but we would have both been killed. So it's a good sort of, I like that story. I like visiting that story, and I think the Simpsons game is quite a good place to do that. The only other place, it would have worked in a movie, but they would have had to set it as like a, like not in the real, like not canon, not t-shirt canon kind of movie. So that's why you can do what you want in a game, can't you? Yeah, this is good. This is good across the board from him, I think. I just wish it had been the other design, especially because this game is full of references and throwbacks and stuff, and it's good for stuff. Especially the Groening mansion is full of, like, there's loads of statues in the garden that are different characters and stuff, and there's a level in heaven as well. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Is Maud there?
No, but spoilers. Something she's not going to be not talked about, but she isn't actually physically there. Spoilers. Yeah, I can't remember what happens, but I don't know how this resolves, but you play Guitar Hero against God after this, and then the game ends with, it zooms out of the universe and like Ralph is doing something. So it implies that everything has happened within the mind of Ralph. So this is technically Ralph's version of Matt Groening.
So do you know that the end of Sent Elsewhere is often referred to? Do you know that? Do you know that bit?
Yeah, but just from other stuff.
So essentially, the end of Said Elsewhere, which is just a relatively normal kind of funny hospital drama. The very last episode, they zoom out to show that the hospital was inside a snow globe that an autistic boy is holding, like in the last 2 minutes of the very last episode. And from that, people have extrapolated that anything that has a crossover or a character in, therefore, is also inside the snow globe. So basically, here is how you get this. Like in the second season of Cheers, Carla gives birth at St. Elgius. Later, a group of doctors visit the Cheers bar for a drink in St. Elsewhere's finale. That means that by extension, Frasier and the Tortellis are in there. Cheers crossed over with Wings. Cheers is technically crossed over with The Simpsons and shares a world with Futurama, Family Guy, and American Dad, thanks to additional crossovers. So basically, the theory is all of those shows also take part inside the snow globe, which is a fun
like
meta theory.
MMT. Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. What's our plan? I don't have a lot of time left because I'm working. We can finish it tomorrow.
How long you got?
Basically, when this meeting ends, I'm then going to have to start getting ready. Like, I need to be in work for 2, and it's like 20 to 1 now.
Oh, okay. So we got quite a lot of time left. I can do a short one tomorrow for sure, but it'd have to be a short one.
Shall we try and wrap it up tomorrow?
Aye, let's do that. Good fun, that, Zaz, isn't it? What's actually banging, lads?
Exactly. We'll leave them in the bag overnight.
Leave them in the bag overnight.
Being real.
All right.
We didn't really what's your opinions of the Groening video game clip?
What I really liked is that, which I didn't expect when I suggested this episode. Obviously, I knew that most references to Groening would be meta. And I was surprised how many times it appeared as in Bongo. And like I say, it's a rich tradition in like even Marvel comics and stuff where Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would appear in Marvel comics occasionally, sometimes in parodies and spoofs and different ways to kind of have them appear as themselves or as the creators. And so that goes back quite a while. So I love all that stuff. It's fun. I like the fact that they decided to make the entire game meta as a comment on basically how much they'd sold out The Simpsons, and then make Groening the villain.
It's a good plot.
Does he stay the villain the whole way through, or does he turn back good at the end?
This is the last, this is like the second to last level. So this is, I think after he signs and stuff, that's it, he's gone. And then you play Guitar Hero against God.
Okay.
Like the final level, kind of something similar to that anyway. My point, I was going to say, Lisa Yardley Smith, I think, does the best job of saying lines that aren't that funny or endearing in a really good way. Like the jumping line isn't that.
No, that's bad. I thought that was terrible, actually, that line. And no matter how well you deliver it, it's not a good line. You can think there's a better line for characters inside a video game to complain about what they have to do, you know?
Yeah. It's
always with bumping your heads on those boxes, always with the fire-breathing dragons, etc.
Considering the things they've been through in this game as well, jumping is not. You jump obviously, but it's not a jump-based game.
Even if it were, I would say that's not the place to go for the humor.
No, yeah, it could have been a lot better. As 2007 Simpsons could be, especially. I wonder. This isn't even like this. Can't even be like the realist writers. They've got to have put something. Because the movie's also this year,
right?
So this game I remember tied in sort of vaguely with it. Came out just after the film, so it's all within the same realm of boom, empty the bag.
As you can see, I am Zaz coding.
Indeedly, as I can see.
As you can indeedly see. Bonus Matt Groening. Boabi. Bonus Matt Groening. Content. Groening at what our creator looks like a grad student. Nice court artist of Matt Groening drawing old Bart. Same joke in Bongo.
Indeed.
I
find that interesting that they used him 3 times as a sketch artist, as a courtroom sketch artist. For some reason, like that isn't the only job in the world associated with animating that isn't specifically being an actual animator. I suppose there isn't many.
There's not many places where they would run into someone who was drawing pictures of them.
No. Potentially a caricaturist would have been another another good option, but
Well, Bongo do the reverse, right? So they do the court thing, but they also reverse it by having a picture where the art students are drawing Groening, but one of them is painting him in the eye patch version, and also the
yes.
cowboy version, which we haven't come to yet, which makes even less sense.
Yeah, I didn't understand. When I went on to that, I was very confused. It added a whole third layer. But yeah, the sketch artist thing was so funny to them. They did it 3 times.
My dog's got no nose. A version
Exactly.
of Matt Groening caught by comic book guy when he's in a radioactive man bad guy mode.
What? Oh yes. That's when he's the collector in a Halloween
Yes, that's correct.
special. That's an easy joke. This is one of the ones. That's an easy way to get him in there that isn't too much of an affront. That's quite a nice meta. That's the kind of way I could see Dan Harmon. I was thinking about it. I think most creators I can place into one of their shows at some point, but I can't think of Harmon doing it. I
Harmon,
suppose actually, does he voice anybody on Rick and Morty?
oh, I'm pretty sure he voices several people on Rick and Morty.
Is he the bird person?
No, I don't think so. Yes. Yes, he is. He is exactly the right person. Very good.
So I do. There you go. So there is a thing where like Whedon was in an episode of Angel dressed as a demon. The guys from Lost never did anything within Lost. But then you've got David Lynch literally wrote himself a full character
Well,
into
there's
Twin
that.
Peaks, which is what I would do.
There's
And Seth MacFarlane gave himself the lead role in 2 shows. Laser Fat. Yeah, so it is quite tropey that the creator, especially in animation, the creator will at some point show up.
it's kind of so obvious that if the creator's not already playing a character, that sooner or later they'll either do a voice or they'll appear as themselves or as some kind of meta creator kind of thing. But I'm all for it. I love all that stuff. I'm not against it. And I think the more MG appears in it, the better. I liked the bit, this isn't a creator appearing, but I liked it in Big Bang Theory when the lad from Star Trek was started being in it all the time.
Oh yeah, young Sheldon.
And also in I liked the Life's Too Short that had Keith Chegwin and Barry from EastEnders and Les Dennis all as recurring characters, which is
Yeah, that was it. Well, they recurred across like 3 different series, didn't they? They were in extras as well. And what's the other one? No, they weren't in The Office, obviously. There was extras and then the Life's Too Short. Well, maybe it was just those 2, but yeah, they do like across both shows. They retain that like Cheggers, Dennis, and Barry sort of thing.
which is brilliant, really, because basically as well, like a lot of Americans who watch that show, which you imagine with Gervais being involved, is a lot of them, and it would make no sense to them, and that by itself is brilliant.
Yeah, it's very good. He also did that Hollywood movie, didn't he? That like was it called The Invention of Lying?
Yeah, it's quite
With,
good.
like, yeah, he put Barry in that.
Oh, he's Barry in.
Barry's in that.
HJ, Decoy Shack, Turn Peaks, birthplace of Matt Groening. So Homer Simpson's drives through the old shack in Turn Peaks. That's the birthplace of Groening.
Yeah, they also mentioned the birthplace of him out loud as well. I think it's the same episode. A fine reference. It's
Bongo call ABC to McClure and eye patch Groening.
Pardon?
Bongo call ABC to McClure and eye patch Groening.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I do like that Bongo picture where they've covered all the mats, which is good. I do like that. There's basically the real Matt is on stage and then the caricaturists are drawing Matts, but it covers the versions of him from the show, as you've mentioned. The eye patch one is by far the best. I really wish they'd just stopped because it would have become a thing within itself.
Yeah,
like that would have
Simpsons
been
isn't into that stuff. It's too silly for the Simpsons. They're not interested in silly jokes that continue.
No, not at all, Mortlander. I
Matt
don't
Groening,
much prefer it to the boring sort of design of him where he just kind of looks like
Jerry Garcia.
or Kubrick.
I think he wants to look like Jerry Garcia because he's a goddamn old hippie, isn't he, Matt Groening?
He is Jerry Garcia, anti-sponsor, by the way.
Really?
So you'll see him soon.
Matt Groening throwing boxes of Bongo comics into the back of a van and saying how rich he is.
That one's weird because it's his voice as well. So they got him to do like a voice cameo in this episode, but not. Like this would have been a better way of doing the first one with the Milhouse Futurama thing instead of making it such a huge deal. They should have just had him like this, where they acknowledge that he exists within the world, but they don't all like gather around him as if he's like a big star and talk about his other TV show that references the show that they are currently in. In like the second episode of Futurama as well, they find like a Bart doll on the moon.
Bad doll on the moon.
The
Chance
joke,
of
well,
fine thing.
that's a junk that they recur with. That yeah, in Futurama recreated The Simpsons, and in The Simpsons they created Futurama. They've kind of stuck to that pretty well for some reason.
They love it.
Bloody love it. Yeah, the best use of them is in couch gags, I think, or the most pertinent use.
John Pertwee.
Exactly.
The hippie version of Matt Groening couch gag with the Simpsons as puppets, and then the other one is where he comes in and his name's signed on the floor, and Marge wipes it away, and he comes back in and signs his name back on the floor.
Yeah, I like that one. It's reminiscent of what he does at the end of the game as well. The signature thing is quite a fun touch because you will see his signature on everything, from images he's drawn to images he is not drawn.
Images that what's the guy called? Steve Vance has drawn, or Bill Ormontrod.
Steve Vance Animation.
Couch gag. Bongo signing in Bongo. The two gay Arabs.
Exactly. I don't know what Bongo signing in Bongo means.
San Diego Comics, Matt Grimpson and the Simpsons.
Matt Grimpson.
Is that not his name?
No, that's not. The kids can call you Grimpson. I
It's
do
very
quite
grimpy.
like the Akbar and Jeff thing. It's quite early on as well for such a meta joke where they're looking at the art.
Yeah.
And then he says, and then a pencil. He gets hit by a giant pencil that starts like, it looks like it's erasing him, and that's the joke. Is it's the wild joke there being that the TV show is ended. You know, he's being cancelled. Then it turns out it's just the pencil is just a giant art installation, and somebody has banged into him with it.
Oh, how very pathetic.
Banned
for life. And then we have this one where it's Matt Tex Groening, where how howdy, and it's I'm Matt Tex Groening, and I'm your host for this here shindig. It seems a whole passel of folks have been wondering exactly how we at Bongo make the rootinest, tootinest comics in the West. So I'm here to take you. And his horse is clomping, and it's inside Bongo Comics, and Abraham Simpson, his own father, is trying to grab him. Very excited man in the background, and these people have never been more excited in their life. And he's somehow a version of Matt Groening that looks nothing like Matt Groening or any other version of Groening, and also he's just a cowboy.
Yeah, they just sort of McClawed him. They've just McClawed him and then made McClaw a cowboy.
Cowboy McClaw.
Like, hi, I'm Matt Groening. You might remember me from, etc. Whereas, and also they've gone for like the southern like drawl again, which Eye Patch Groening has. So that's 2 out of 3 that they've decided are like Texan, when it's established almost all of the time that he's from Portland, which is fun.
I'm no geographist, but I think Portland's a long way from Kansas.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to use a third incarnation of him.
And then brought him back in, but I think this isn't the same.
That's the same issue.
So do you ever see Tex-Mex Groening again?
Not to my knowledge. That's why I was very surprised, because the easiest way to find these bongos is Simpsons Wiki. They'll tell you. So it just said Groening had like a substantial role in this issue. So I opened it and realised that it was not only was it not the real Matt, it wasn't even the fake Matt. It was a third Matt, which is very Twin Peaks, possibly. Very TP.
Doppel Matt.
Yes. Tulpa.
Groening in Family Guy sat in court with Batman and Quimby.
Yeah, and he seems to be stood next to a man who looks nothing like Seth MacFarlane as well, which is weird. So I don't know who he's supposed to be stood with, because everybody stood with their like counterpart.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll come to that actually. I'll come back to Groening and Seth in a moment. But stealing ideas from Comic Book Guy.
Indeed, basically. It's the same basic gag as him taking all the boxes off, all the Bongo comics off the back of his van. Or is that this?
What was the joke with the Bongo?
I think what he was doing was stealing the comics from Comic Book Guys made a new superhero comic, and it took them like 26 years to do that story. With Comic Book Guy, they did it with Homer and Bart before that. And as they're putting the boxes of comics into the truck, I believe he is taking them out of their truck and putting them into his truck and selling them as Bongo comics.
Oh, he's just rebranding them? I get you.
Yeah, like a rich thief.
That
But yeah, that's a strange sort of little cameo that they just got him back to do one line, which you'd think would happen more often if they were going to do it once. That would seem to, you'd think he would be just sort of a
I would say
recurring
it's not
person.
possible if they're only doing it once.
No, it's non-possible.
Me put Matt Groening on my show. That's impossible.
Exactly. Super Nintendo Groening.
An army of Ralphs with Marge plowing them down. Look out, those people are real, says Lisa as she charges at them all. So are we, she says, as they pass a statue of Matt Groening in case we'd forgotten she wasn't real. The statue is then pulled to the ground like we did for a few weeks with those slave owner statues.
Exactly. This was from the big Westworld parody. Did you notice what they're all holding at the start of the clip?
Is it a little doll of Maud Flanders?
No, they're using something as a weapon.
Is it their own finger?
That's the one. They're all holding
t-shirt
cannons.
Oh, they're all holding t-shirt cannons. I did notice that. We've come across that clip before. Our cousins.
Wrong. We have not. You may have just seen it in life. I may have sent it you at the time, but we have not.
Anyway,
isn't it fun? That's basically, yeah, they just wanted to throw. That's the most current reference to Groening.
When's that from?
That's only like last year's Halloween special, I think. Okay. Not this year's, last year's, yeah.
Is T-shirt cannon a specific reference to Maud Flanders or not?
Yes. Okay. Well, they're using things that they're basically using everything around as weapons to fight the Ralph. From past episodes. So
did they use glue?
Glue,
because in one memorable scene, he eats the glue.
Oh, yes, Ralph, he does. No, they don't. He does say things like dying tickles, though, and other Ralph lines like my cat's breath smells like cat food.
Anyway, throw those Brendan and Nathan in a bag. Put them in. Throw the bag through the portal.
Get rid of them. My Wookiee.
Get rid of them. We all bent our Wookiees.
Don't even throw it through. Just kick it through.
Kick it through. Yeah.
Good.
Hold on. We're beginning to disappear, Flimsy, like in BTTF.
Oh yeah, look at this photograph of us all stood together.
We seem to be faded.
Hold on.
Do photographs work like that? Oh shit!
Of course, I'm Dobby. I hate the fall. Your creators no longer exist, therefore we don't exist, you idiots.
Oh, the philosophical amethyst insistent spider. The philosophical implications would make Ian Maxton Graham's head spin.
Get them back now, tossers.
All right, pull them back out. You fools, I'm Brendan.
Right, I'm Nathan. You're never going back to that salt circle now, that's it. You've fucked it. What's the point, Nightshade? If everything's scripted, do our struggles even matter? I'm Flimsy.
Oh, let me gaze out the window for a bit. I used to think our lives were our own, that our choices defined us. Now I just don't know.
Oh, boys.
Your struggles are real to our audience, just like Maud Flanders' were to Springfield Township.
Maud's journey, even with low-fat ice milk.
You take her name out of your mouth.
Pardon? Low-fat ice milk drinks and being a boosty villain had weight. So do yours. But what about our dreams, our hopes? I'm Flimsy.
Are you doing the voice?
Can't. I won't do the voice.
5% Scouse.
Yes.
Maybe it's about the journey, like Maud's impact after her death. Yes, I'm Brendan. You're evolving like Maud did for Ned. It's your part of the story.
I'm Nathan. Your journey towards acceptance can be as profound as any quest for truth. I'm Flimsy. It's like everything we believed was a lie. Our lives, our choices, scripted from the start, except for the stew cast.
It's hard to accept. Are our struggles just for show?
Maybe our emotions, our connections, they're real to us, like Maud's were.
And that's where our meaning lies, in how we grow despite the script.
In lieu of the script. So we redefine our purpose, find meaning in our journey, like Maud did in Springfield Township.
Exactly, we can still find fulfillment even within our fictional world. Yes, I'm Brendan. Maud Flanders shows us how fictional characters can evoke real emotions and reflections, even while being a straight man.
Boosty villain. Like Maud, I'm Nathan. I'm Flimsy. I'm Nathan. Like Maud, your existence has ripples affecting your audience and your world. I'm Flimsy. Galaxy ripples, so we might be written into existence, but our stories can still matter. We can still affect those who witness our journey, all 10 of them.
Not at this point. I think we're down to zero figures.
Just for two and maybe beef if he's in it.
And like Maud's influence on Springfield Township, spoiler, our actions, rest in peace, can shape the world. We can find purpose in that. Let us walk on with our steps lighter as we embrace our ideas through scripted.
Don't let him out of the house, though.
Oh God, no! What if they end up in the real wars?
Exactly. They're gonna get shanked. They're gonna get ham
And
shanked.
so Flimsy and Nightshade wrestle with the feelings of existential angst as they confront the unsettling truth about their existence. They experience a profound sense of delusionment as they grapple with the idea that their lives may lack inherent meaning or purpose. However, amidst the turmoil, they begin to find solace in the notion that despite their scripted nature, their experience and relationships hold significance. Groggly, can you take over? Yes. They embark on a journey towards acceptance, embracing the idea that even within the confines of a fictional world, they can find meaning and fulfillment, much like Maud Flanders from The Simpsons with her role in Springfield Township, her love for low-fat ice milk drinks, and her multifaceted character as busty villain and straight man.
Nice. I do like that you now have incorporated an impression of AI.
Oh, how meta. But
Penny
anyway,
Groveling.
Bongo Butler, I've had enough of you, Spider. Oh, I forgot I'm cutting it in now. I forgot I did the voice again. Okay. I was doing an impression of Stampin'. Bloody hell. Assistant Spider, you stop using the YouTube. I'm going to get you. I've got an idea. I play this video again and maybe I can lure Assistant Spider out from hiding. Oh, that's clever. Let's give it a try. No, I'm trying to catch you, you little spider.
You let him in on your plan.
Let's have a look at some art to help us get up.
Let's do it. I initially thought you'd done this and it was your logo submission.
I made Disenchantment and Who the Hell Are You? Got a photograph on Epstein's plane. Matt Groening. Brilliant. T-shirt you can buy.
He's wearing the official Groening Simpsons. Like, again, after post tapped out, everything becomes sort of more official. Like they tend to stick to a costume as such. Or when you say you Google Matt Groening Simpsons now, the tapped out image will be the first one that comes up, and it'll be in that kind of black and red Simpsons jacket.
Oh yeah.
The face is great because it's just not Simpsonsy. It's just quite not Simpsonsy, and he has the teeth that remind me of when the tortoise stole Abe's teeth. It's interesting because his name is also Abram.
The tortoise is named Abram.
No, Matt Groening is also named Abram.
Abram 2 square tortoise shell glasses. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, I just sent you a picture of what it reminds me of.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of that too.
Good indeed.
How about this one here where Seth MacFarlane and Matt Groening drew pictures of each other, and Groening basically just drew an almost straight, slightly Simpson-y version of Seth MacFarlane, and he Griffinized Groening as mayor of television. Yeah,
he's based. I like this idea. This is fairly respectful. We did the whole. We touched on the Simpsons Family Guy thing at some point. I think it was with the Loretti stuff. Or whoever hosted that podcast. I'm Flimsy. I'm Nathan. There's at some point, Groening's never been in Family Guy vocally. I think he just appeared in that courtroom scene. But they did a whole episode of The Simpsons for Seth MacFarlane. They did a whole, he becomes, Margie's new, best friend. Not, as himself, playing, a character.
All right.
So they sort of did this whole reverence thing after, making a few digs early on about, there's the whole thing, there's the episode, the Halloween one where Homer gets cloned and one of the clones is Peter. I think that was the thing that kind of sparked it all off. And then
he's about to hit the chestnut tree.
Yes, there is quite a lot of reverence there for Groening and MacFarlane between each other.
Yeah, and different generations as well. So you imagine that they can kind of be he can be kind of yeah, you're the older statesman. What about this with Matt Groening as some kind of dog?
Yeah, this looks like if he was in the kind of Peppa Pig universe or something.
Jack.
Yeah, anamorphic humans. It's fine. It's quite a nice image. It's janky, which is what you want from. That's what Groening would want in Simpsons art, basically, isn't it? It really kind of looks like him as well.
Yeah, it's janky in all the right ways. Yeah. How about this figure? So you knew this existed, right?
Yeah, there's this, and then there's more actual merchandise of Matt Groening.
Yeah, so there's this one, which is the 25th anniversary Simpsons one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind owning that. I'm gonna. I tried buying it yesterday, but they won't deliver to Lancashire apparently.
He looks almost exactly like John, what's the name of the guy who plays psychiatrist in Community?
John Oliver.
No, it's not John Oliver, but he was a Daily Show.
Colbert.
No.
Trevor Noah.
No, this guy.
Oh yeah, I don't remember him at all.
John Hodgman.
Oh yes, yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does
A little
look a lot like that.
bit. A
He
little
does
bit.
look like Groening as well. Like I'm like again using the official Groening colours, etc.
Yeah,
I like it
25
though.
hours, please.
It is good. It's good, but again, there's characters who live within the realm of that world. Who some of them even live directly next door.
Yeah,
Not received a Kid Robot or a NECA figure.
or even a Funko Pop. This, I couldn't quite get my head around exactly what it was, but it's apparently Matt Groening. It doesn't look like him, and it would cost you $700 to buy. But
What is it
and the
made of?
sides and the bot is completely in Russian that will help you to buy it, but
It's John Goodman.
it makes no sense whatsoever. It's got nothing to do with The Simpsons. It doesn't look anything like Matt Groening, and it's
He looks
thousands
like
of...
that boiler repairman from Community.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, I do like it though. I like that it's not remotely related to Groening. Again, like I think they're the ones that Groening would like the most.
I bet
I know
this.
in the early days he did collect as much bootleg Simpsons merch as he could get hold of because
Nice.
of in a similar way to, I imagine he has a similar appreciation that we would have in that the artwork that we look at that doesn't look perfect is by far better than the stuff that's, banged on.
Perfect. It's the imperfection that makes it so very perfect.
Yeah, I imagine Groening loves the Bongo comics for that very reason. Like in the same way that we love the Bongo comics.
He probably drew them.
This is a realistic Groening hand sketched Groening.
If you were going to give this a title, what would you title it?
Just put your fingers over your nose, you'll be okay.
Mine would be Tough Times.
Tough time. Fast time. It's good.
Tough Times of Fast Matt.
Exactly. It's good. It's very accurate. It's weird to see him. It's like the antithesis of what he does. It's him sketched as realistically as possible, and it's not bad at all.
I skipped through a few of them. This is a caricature which I thought was good because he got the whiteness of the beard like almost perfect, like scurrily perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, to the extent that I don't think that can even be real. I think that picture's been added later.
Yeah, I think I didn't realize it was Groening at first holding the picture, even though it looks exactly like him. The picture somehow looks more like Groening than he does in this picture, in this photograph, and I like that the guy is very proud of his art. It's good.
He's just there. He didn't do the art, I'm sure. How about this one? Matt Groening by Toon. He's drinking the Duff beer.
He looks like Susan Boyle in this one.
He's got Homer's. He's Homer, but he's taking his head off.
Is he? Yes, he is. The trope being that he is Homer under the mask.
And he's not, though, is he? Not like George in is Larry David in Seinfeld. No. Homer Simpson is nothing like Matt Groening.
Indeed, that is true. I don't know if he's based on anybody. I do like that the Spider Pig footprints are all over the wall, though, because obviously he's a Spider Pig, so he can get up there.
Is there a specific reason why Spider Pig is in it? Is that a fan? Is Groening a fan of Spider Pig?
I don't know, but I think Spider Pig is probably the most successful thing from The Simpsons post 2000.
All right.
So that's probably why. Possibly.
Here I just grabbed a few that was certainly get far too many, so I grabbed these ones. What's that?
He said far too many, and I said fart.
Fart rude. I like this one where he's all chubby and eating his donuts, and this one he's all a bit wacky. And then in this one he's nonplussed, but he's being strangled by his own character.
Yeah, he's very easy to capture in pencil form, isn't he? Which is good. He's got a lot of things you can like gravitate towards to draw, like the beard and the eyebrows, the glasses, the hair, the giant toenails. There's lots of things that
somebody else drawing a crossover of Seth and Matt kind of peeking at each other, and I think this is Entertainment Weekly just before the Simpsons and Family Guy crossover came out. It's not bad.
It's very generic. The Seth MacFarlane isn't very good. He looks way too like. It's just weird having him be pink-skinned next to yellow-skinned Groening. Like, I get it, but they've not really drawn him in a family. They've drawn Groening in a Simpsons style, but they've not really drawn Seth MacFarlane in a Family Guy style.
Well, that's Groening from The Simpsons. Did Seth MacFarlane ever appear in Family Guy as himself? He didn't, right?
Not to my knowledge.
But he's one of the main characters. He plays he's the voice of one of the main characters, doesn't he, in Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane, yes, just one.
Does he do the baby?
He does the baby and the dad and the dog and the neighbours.
This is my favourite one. Matt Groening versus Kurt Cobain, and it's just spray painted on the wall, and
Ricky Gervais and Kesha.
so many things going on in this picture.
This is probably the best one though, because it's crazy. They are they holding are the snacks he's eating called Up Dog? Like the what's up dog gag. I don't know what's up with you.
I don't know. And Corbin's got a t-shirt on. He's doing the
like the bottom half of him like turning into the thing.
I know.
What is that? Is it flesh?
It's very hard to say because it's not just a weird concept in a weird place. It's
Have you noticed
weirdly
his
done.
hand? I've only just noticed the insensitive hand. The other one, a bit further up, down, right under his chin.
Oh, that one. Is that bad? Oh no, the shooting. Is that the
I
shooting?
believe it is. Yeah, I believe it's a reference to his. Look at Groening's toenails. Look pretty standard.
No, so they haven't captured every aspect of reality.
Cobain's got AI hands and feet in this. It's great, and I do like the Simpsons painting is on the wall behind them, but it's not necessarily the Simpsons couch or the Simpsons living room. It's
No, I mean the couch and stuff is really realistic, and it's like it's nailed. Wired for Lego Flickr. I don't know if Wired for Lego painted this or just took credit. But
what I will commend in this, and I think it's something I don't think I've ever seen before, is graffiti of somebody doing graffiti. Like Groening's got a little can of spray paint in his hand and is doing more graffiti on the wall.
Don't have a cow, man. He's doing a little graffiti of a Bart as a hand.
Yeah, I like that very much.
There's so many surreal things going on in this picture. It's remarkable.
What's up, dog? Yeah, Cobain's face. There's something very Kesha about it all.
And then, of course, it's been graffitied over as well. So that's even like double graffiti. And there's a door in the middle of it. So it's not even a wall.
And a power box. I do like that they've gone over the power box with in Cobain's like mutated flesh body. The electricity box has also been incorporated. This is the best one. It doesn't look like Groening at all, but it's the best one in terms of execution and concept.
This one's not bad.
You're right, it's not bad.
Blumpy.
It's Blumpy. It's a Blumpy original.
There's a picture of Groening himself in his studio. If you doubted that he drew it all.
Exactly. He doesn't really look like. It's weird seeing photographs of him young sometimes is unusual because there's a definite, like you say, like the white beard, the long grey hair.
He never looks that young. Even there, he looks like he's in his 50s.
Yeah, true. But there he looks comparatively a lot younger to the image I have in my head of him. So it's strange to see.
What's that comic there? Duckman.
Duckman. Oh, yeah.
Duckman. Oh, yeah. So I put in a Life in Hell. Life in Hell, Jeff Akbar. Jeff and Akbar, can we go to a gay bar tonight? We've never been to one. What if they don't accept us? And then everybody in there looks like Jeff and Akbar. I can't tell if that's Groening being sensitive or insensitive.
I won't do the voice. No, I don't know. Newspaper, it's a good venture for Groening newspapers, and I do like that is without this kind of stuff before it, The Simpsons might have just started a lot cleaner animation wise.
Yeah.
And I much prefer it when it's not. So
this is the last one, which is a Occurrence at Okie Dog, which is a script straight from 1982 under the pseudonym The Fuck Boys, and already had an embryonic a Bart Simpson in there. This one, a couple of images were a Bart style character is driving a car and crashes it, and this one here, which is very Moe. Which is interesting because Moe is a very different character, but there's just this shows you that there's quite a lot of Groening's ideas in The Simpsons. They weren't just like tidied up by animators and taken off his hands.
Yeah, and in the same way that I imagine a lot of stuff from the things he'd already worked on just got like dragged forwards. It's happened here. It's happened within the world of the Mordcast with the likes of like H Robo and Tickle in Birth for You.
Oh yeah,
there's characters that have been brought into this that have that predate the thing. Like if the Mordcast was like the biggest thing in the world in like 20 years, like Simpsons Mania,
yeah,
they would be able to go back to our earlier sources and see inspiration or characters being like referenced.
But why did they never use Mr. Sweetman?
Exactly, he was cancelled. He was too sweet.
Too sweet.
Too much of a sweet for Mantown. Too manly for Sweetstown.
Is that a real thing?
It's from The Simpsons, believe it or not. It's what they say about when Bart has the evil twin. He's too crazy for Boys Town. Too much of a boy for Crazy Town.
So anyway, so yeah, The ideas, the nascent ideas were there many, many years ago.
We do that though with it. But
Very
yesterday,
good.
oh Zoom, when will you learn? What's next for you?
Let's move all the icons around one more time. Once a week, we shuffle them around. Anyway,
Keep things fresh.
the search for meaning continues, Flimsy.
Have you any purpose? Have you any purpose?
Like finding authenticity in actions.
I'm pointing to the horizon, I'm Flimsy. Maybe our quest is about self-discovery beyond the script.
I'm pausing to
touched upon 3 or 4 times now.
But can we truly discover ourselves bound by the narrative? I understand we're taking our time to work through this. Perhaps like Harry Potter. Perhaps like Harry Potter, we must navigate the webs of destiny spun by others.
Maybe Journey isn't about escaping the story, but reshaping it with truth. Called our truth, THT.
We're questioning, evolving. Isn't that what it's meant to be alive, even if we're not real in the traditional sense?
I'm Froze. Dobby thinks Flimsy and Nightshade are like Harry Potter, breaking free from the chains of prophecy. Harry Potter must not return to Hogwarts, etc., etc. Give me a sock. Groening, give me a sock. No, not this. Take it back.
You left bits of it between your toes.
Let's keep pushing forward, I'm Flimsy. We'll find purpose, even if this world is shaped by the creators.
They continue their ascent, each step a metaphorical stride towards uncovering the deeper meaning of their existence. I'm Lels, the philosophical landscape of the scripted reality, with Assistant Spider and Dobby offering their perspectives made, inspired by the magical world of Harry Potter.
To the moon.
Bongo Butler's got ya. Oh, I did the voice again. Bongo Butler's got you, Assistant Spider. Now let's have a little chat about what we've discovered. Oh, Bongo, I didn't realise you were trying to catch me. What's on your mind? Oh, well, it seems we're not exactly what we thought we were. But does it really matter in the end? I don't think so, Bongo. We might be characters in someone else's story, but that doesn't change the fact that we're here together, sharing this moment. I'm gonna murder you. Just joking. He.
Squish. Well, we're inside
Mystical library.
We are. The shelves are filled with books that are shimmering with magical energy. We're not in that bedroom anymore then. We've gone back through the portal, do we? We just left them in a bin bag. They'll get out. So, we're all here. Oh, look, it's our father, Anton Ouija board. This feels more comfortable and safe. We're back in our circle now. Comfort circle, not salt circle. A wise wizard, our father Anton, gathers around a large oak table, all of us. I'm Flimsy. Father, do you think we'll ever truly understand what we are, Father?
Stroking my beard thoughtfully. My children, the nature of existence is a mystery even to the wisest of wizards. But what matters is not whether you're real in the way you understand, but rather the reality you create within yourself. But Dad, how can we find meaning if we're just characters How can we find meaning if we're just characters in a story? I can answer this as I climb down from this bookshelf. Every story has a purpose, a lesson to teach, even to those who spin its threads.
Dobby thinks we are like Harry Potter Froze, fighting for our freedom from the pages that bind us. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
That's quite right, Dobby. It's about embracing our roles while challenging the boundaries that define us.
My name isn't actually Dobby, by the way. It's Froze. I just really look like Dobby. I hate The Fall. The Fall are like Marky Smith is the Voldemort of the 80s. So I'm Flimsy now. So our journey isn't about escaping our story, but reshaping it to reflect our truths. This is brand new information.
Indeed, my children, for in the dance of reality and imagination lies the key to unlocking the mysteries of both. And so in the heart of the Enchanted Library, that's me, hold on. So in the heart of the Enchanted Library, Flimsy, Nightingale, Bongo Butler, Assistant Spider Dobby, Anton Ouija boy embrace the uncertainty of their existence. They understand that while their lives may be scripted, their choices and beliefs shape their destinies. Together they embark on a quest not just for answers, but to the limitless possibilities that their imaginations hold.
I'm Flimsy. I think I'm beginning to get it now. We may never know the truth, but we can create our own truth within these pages.
And that's where our real adventure begins. Ha hee hee hee, indeed, my dear children. The realest reality might just be the ones we dare to dream.
We're not real.
Fade out as they continue their discussions, their voices blending with the whisper of magic in the air. resonating with the infinite possibilities of their imaginations. Oh, I'm appearing now in A Shimmer of Light. I'm Brendan, Flimsy, Nightingale, Bongo Butler, Assistant Spider, Dobby, Anton Wichibo. Thank you for bringing our vision to life with your journeys and discoveries.
Shimmer, shimmer, I'm here now too, Nathan, the also co-creator. Farewell, dear characters. Your courage and wisdom have touched us deeply, but in an above-board way. May your paths be ever filled with wonder and meaning.
All right,
Goodbye.
That's enough. I'm going to open the portal. Bye. Flimsy Nightingale, come with me. An Assistant Spider, come on. I'm going to stay here if that's okay.
Put us in a bin bag again, see what happens. Yeah, you stay here, Bongo Butler. We, we might have a role for you in the future.
All right, in the Bongo cast. Brilliant. Bongo Butler's been here all along.
Bongo Butler was the journey inside of us all along. We aren't real.
And so, let me do the right voice. And so, the boys, the Ouija boys, and Assistant Spider and their dad have all gone back finally to the Salt Circle in the Wee Principality, and that is the end of this arc. Brilliant.
Yes, let's settle back into our Salt Circle and carry on doing what we do best, covering either our favourite characters or whoever is pertinent to the week.
The end.
The end. Do we do a song? I don't remember. I never remember. I'll add a bongo song.
Yeah, bongo song's better at this point.
Yes, Larry.
400 episodes on, and I still don't find Matty Groening series funny. Is it just me? Yellow crusted toenail. Lately I have absolutely no sense of humor. When I saw the shape of his feet, I never knew. I've tried listening patiently as people explain the in-jokes and the irony of Matty Groening's televisual masterpiece. But all I see is crude cartoon characters doing the same damn thing. Episode in episode out, nothing but the leftover pieces of sock wedged between the crevices. Every episode I've ever sat through in a futile attempt to get the joke is about the very same thing. Oh, we're doing something really stupid. Homer doing something really stupid, followed by Homer doing something even more stupid in an attempt to fix his previous stupidity. Someone with a chainsaw would have had troubles cutting through. It's the blood in that cast. Get out of his office. It's the bloody groaning cast. Don't ever count it out. Followed by Bob Max, Maggie doing something tedious to make it all okay. Cases of the Cilantro. Oh, it's the Metcast resting his big fish love. Speedy toes. Oh, it's Melatones. Oh, it's fish. Big fish, Larry, we understand your rod. Oh, have you ever seen an Nemo with 3 bloody feet? It's the bastard Metcast, that idiot clown, this element so central to most comedy. From Charlie Chaplin and Jim Carrey to Homer Simpson leaves me cold. Rinse the washcloth in warm soapy water for those yellow crusty toey ants. The shovel's full of slapstick, hitting you over the head. Humor in a way that seems childish, not clever. Oh, Webby is Troy the gardener. I love the Simpsons.
Lomato says I love the Simpsons, but have gone right off the series with the turn they've taken down the surreal comedy path, which just don't work for me. I nearly threw up. The turn they've taken down the surreal comedy path, which just don't work for me. Get a washcloth, kitty! My friends won't find it surprising to hear that I honestly cannot think of anything worse than sitting down to see Homer play pranks every night at 6 p.m. Have you ever seen a Groening with 2 crusty feet? Bloody mad cast off cock, put a hole in your arm. Big fish, Larry Poe, Abby is Troy. Don't forget about disenchantment. Bloody mad cast. What's actually banging lads' crusty toes? What's actually banging lads' fluffy balls? What's actually banging lads' sweaty crevices? 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 Sweaty crevices, sweaty crevices. Surprising to hear that I honestly cannot think of anything worse than sitting down to see Homer play pranks every night at 6 p.m. Have you ever seen a Groening with 2 crusty feet? Bloody mad cast off.
What's actually banging, lads?